What are you doing? Don't do it. What are you writing?
Chef, don't. That's not a good idea.
Just listen. I won't send it until we all say it's okay. Why don't you come by again tonight? I got a whole new menu just for you.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Hey, give me the phone. Give me the phone.
Don't do it.
That was just a little taste of Jon Favreau in his latest movie called Chef. He joins us now live via satellite to talk about the project, which he also wrote and directed. No surprise, we all know what a talented guy you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you were telling me during the break that that you actually had to learn some cooking skills for this movie.
Yeah, I wanted to get it right. You know, when I talked to the chefs, especially Roy Choi, the guy who was a co-producer on this and my technical advisor, you know, his big thing was Hollywood movies never get it right. And if he wanted to work on it with me, I was going to have to really dedicate myself to getting the details right. And that included me undergoing pretty extensive training. He sent me off to culinary school, and I eventually worked my way up to work in the line during dinner service in his kitchen. So it was months of tough work, yeah.
That's very cool. Now, this movie is about a chef who you lose your job in the restaurant and you decide to start up a food truck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, you know.
When you wrote this, did you understand like the big deal that food trucks are, especially here in the Dallas area, by the way?
Well, I thought it was exciting because it's a lot like working on a little film like this, honestly, after working on the big movies, is you're trading in all the bells and whistles and all the creature comforts of an established kitchen with a big budget for food and a big customer base for the freedom of being out there on the road cooking with you and a partner or two and just selling sandwiches out the window. And what's happened is because of social media, the whole food truck, the whole chef-driven food truck culture is growing in all the states around the country, because if you're doing something good and you tweet out where you're going to be, you know, it's like the ice cream truck now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that feeling you got when you used to hear that the ice cream truck was coming to the playground. That's how adults feel when a good food truck that they like is coming to their neighborhood. They line up, and it's a great, crazy phenomenon that we tried to capture in the movie. Now,
as with most of your projects, there is of course humor, but there's also this sort of like family dynamic that's happening in this movie. Can you talk about that a little?
Well, I mean, it's if you think back to the movies like Swingers that I started off writing and doing, you know, to have a comedy with heart about real life situations, that it wasn't so rare back then. Nowadays, you just can't get those movies made. The movies are either big action films, big 3D extravaganzas that travel to, you know, every country around the world, and then there's the comedies that are kind of like Neighbors that does really well and they're funny, but they're, you know, it's everything's big now. To do a movie about real life was rare, and I had to go back to my independent film roots to get something like this done. But it really expresses, you know, my personality. It's speaking from the heart, and it gets, you know, it allows me to tap into being a dad, into balancing out career with family, but to do it with my sense of humor and my style. And thankfully, the critics are liking it, and now, thanks to how well it's done there, and it's done in some of the other big cities, it's now expanding to other territories, because the little ones, they disappear if you don't sell those houses out. And thankfully, we've been doing that, and so people seem to be connecting with it.
Well, I'll tell you, I know I'm not the only one who is a huge fan of yours, and I'm really looking forward to this film. And thanks for spending a little time with us today.
Great talking to you.
You can see Jon in Chef, which opens today. For showtimes, just go to thebroadcasttv.com. Click on today's links, and we'll give you all the info there. Coming up next, we're heading over to the Broadcast Music Cafe for a big treat. Parmalee is here, and they had a big hit with Carolina, many others in the country music world, so stick around for that.
Yeah, someday drinking. Girl, there's just something about nothing to